Welcome to RPTV Weekly News Show. My name is Jabin and my co-hosts are Victoria, Ryan, and Fred. We present news that impacts on Regent Park and the surrounding areas. In this episode, we present the following news for the week September 27th to October 4th, 2022.
Report of the September 20th, 2022 Regent Park SDP Stakeholders Table meeting. Blair's Run 2022 supports the weekly reopened Cabbagetown Youth Centre. The Daniels Corporation celebrates the official groundbreaking of Daniels on Parliament in the Regent Park Revitalization. Toronto police seek fourth man in shooting death of Regent Park youth worker Thane Murray. Hundreds marched to protest growing gun violence in Toronto on September 24th, 2022. Call to action. Police arrest a young man suffering a mental health crisis in Regent Park. COVID-19 and vaccination update. Bivalent COVID-19 booster shot appointments for those 18 plus are now open. Events and jobs in Regent Park. Report of the September 20th, 2022 Regent Park SDP Stakeholders Table meeting. The Regent Park Social Development Plan is a community-wide initiative aimed at fostering social inclusion and cohesion. The SDP Stakeholders Table is the main decision-making body responsible for the implementation of the Social Development Plan. The Stakeholders Committee meets 4 times yearly. Intended to be a coalition of stakeholders serving or residing in Regent Park, participation on the Stakeholders Table is open to anyone including market and TCHC residents, agencies, grassroots groups, faith groups, and businesses located in or serving Regent Park, TCHC and its development partners, City of Toronto, and elected representatives serving Regent Park. While membership is open to all, voting privileges are restricted to residents and stakeholder groups who are actively involved on the various working committees of the SDP. The working committees are communications, community building, safety, employment and economic development, funding and evaluation, and benchmarks. The SDP Stakeholders Table is coordinated by a planning committee. The September 20th, 2022 hybrid and in-person meeting of the Regent Park Stakeholders Table took place at the CSI Community Living Room located on the first floor of Daniel Spectrum, and it was live streamed on Zoom and the Regent Park TV YouTube channel. The meeting was chaired by Ismail Afra, the TCHC resident co-chair, Marlene DeGenova, the Market resident co-chair, and Greg Gary, the executive director of the Boys and Girls Club Toronto Kiwanis, representing the Executive Directors Network. Marlene DeGenova began the meeting with a welcome. Greg Gary did the land acknowledgement, and Ismail Afra reminded the purpose of the Stakeholders Table. The first item of the agenda was brought by Michael Rosenberg and Waleed Kolgali with an introduction into the decision-making process, which is work by a consensus and a voting procedure when there is no consensus. Waleed represented a motion to strike a committee to implement a strategic planning process in 2023. He emphasized the importance of this decision-making item regarding strategic planning in order to create an effective strategy to achieve goals and set a direction for future action. After some discussion and no objections to build consensus on creating a strategic planning committee, the motion was approved.
I would like to move. I don't know if there's a motion up here, or could we have someone that could move this motion? And the motion states that we strike a committee to implement a strategic planning process in 2023. So who would like to move that? Who would like to? Okay, we've got a couple of hands up here. I'm assuming there's a lot of supporters for this. So we'll now have a discussion. Does anyone want to come up to the microphone and speak to this motion, which is to strike a committee to implement a strategic planning process in 2023? Who would like to speak to this?
I think it's a great idea because you have to have a plan and have the community involved and have them accept everything equally in order to move things forward. So I think it's an amazing idea.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Anyone else? Anyone like to speak to this item? So I'd like to turn it back to our facilitators to move forward.
I'd like to see if there's anyone who has any objection to this motion. Why don't we start there? Is there anyone on the floor who has any objection to this motion? It sounds to me, if there are no objections, then we've passed this motion. Thank you very much. It's done.
Adonis Huggins from Focus Media Arts Center introduced the next agenda item with the presentation of the initiatives that were funded by the SDP in 2020, such as Regent Park TV. Let's hear what Adonis has to say.
Hi everyone, my name's Adonis Huggins and I'm with the Focus Media Arts Center. And today in this section we're presenting some of the initiatives that were funded from the 2020 SDP funding. And as you know, the city has given the Regent Park $500,000 for a number of initiatives to be carried out. And we're reporting back from the 2020 year, right? So in this case, I'm reporting on Regent Park TV. So what is Regent Park TV? I hope you all know what Regent Park TV. And if you don't make me cry. Please, don't make me cry. This has been going on. Regent Park TV is a 30-year project of Regent Park. Unfortunately, we haven't always been very well funded. So I'm pleased to let you know that in 2020, the city allowed us to finally get dedicated reporters to report on Regent Park. And what a difference I think it's made to our reporting and to the community, and I hope you could see that too. So first of all, Regent Park TV could be found on the Regent Park TV YouTube channel. It is a YouTube channel. It's also available on the Hello Neighborhood app that will also be reporting today. And so you can see it in multiple places. Just to give you a little taste of what that's like if you haven't seen it. We report on most of the events, well, not most of the events. We need far more staff than what we have, but a lot of events that happen in the community. So Sunday in the Park, the Cultural Bazaar, the Moonlight Vendors Market, the SDP activities and events that happen. We also report about other issues that go on in the community. We report around safety issues, report on what some of the other community groups are doing in the community, and what some of the, of course, we report on the work of each of the committees of the SDP and of the SDP itself. The other thing that we do is we provide a lot of the infrastructure for meetings like this. So our staff is working hard to make sure that you could see us on Zoom and that has the sound quality and everything else here. So that's another thing that we do is provide support for other meetings and groups in the area so that they could speak to you and communicate to you as well. But one thing I'm really excited this year, which is a new part of the 2020, well, I'm going to say part of the 2020 project, is that we started something called Regent Park Weekly TV News. That means that we report on your news weekly. And one day we'll get more money to be able to report on daily. Because Regent Park, a lot of things happen in Regent Park. A lot of things happen, and you'd be amazed at how much things happen that we can't report on because we don't have the resources to do so. But I just want to give you a little example of what our news show is about. We have our host right here, Fred the host for RPTV News, and he does that work with our staff and young people who are involved in our program. Just to let you know, we hire summer students, we employ part-time students who want to learn videography and editing, and we engage placement students who want to learn this stuff and want to pursue it in for a career or go back to school. So we're always involved in that. They make part of our team, and as a result, we teach that. So just to introduce some of the staff are here. We have Dimitri. Dimitri, why don't you just put a hand up? Yay. Fred, Tyrone over here. And then we have Tyrone's a resident of Regent Park, and then we have 2 other residents of Regent Park who just recently we lost to the production industry because they paid them more money. So we are looking to hire 2 residents of Regent Park who are keen on learning how to put productions together and keen on learning editing. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. If you have any kind of experience in that, we would love to work with you. And essentially, your job will be reporting about the community and everything that happens here. So we're looking for 2 residents of Regent Park to do that, to join our team. So saying all that, I just want to show you a little bit of the news if you haven't seen it, and really encourage you to subscribe. Subscribe. Please subscribe. Really, subscribe. It's your TV. It's your community. The RPTV is about you and your community. And if you want to contribute to that in any way by telling the things that you do, or your things that you're interested in, or things that you could even cover for us, we would happy to have you engage with us to do so.
The next agenda item was introduced by the Access to Recreation group. Joel Klassen and Honey did an interview-style presentation about their work and update about their programs.
So our group, Access to Recreation, what I like about it is because we support each other, we empower each other to do like meetings, like someone will do the facilitation, someone will do the agenda, someone will do the minutes. So for me to stand here is from Access. So that's how we empower each other.
And where would you like to see the group go in the next year or so?
So the whole reason we came together is to have priority registration. Hopefully we can get that at the end.
And do you have any advice for if other people in the community wanted to do work similar to this? What kind of advice would you give them?
My advice would be every person is different. To come together, if you really believe something, and do it from the bottom of your heart and supporting others.
Ibrahim Afra introduced the next agenda item with a presentation of the Hello Neighbor app project.
Through the help of collaboration, Hello Neighbor was born. And this collaboration came from Young Street Mission, the communication app, the RPNA, and back then it was a grassroots organization called Vision of Tomorrow. But because of some learning, I'm now registered. So Vision of Tomorrow also came together to build this called Hello Neighbor app. So if you go to the next slide. So how did we use some of the funding that we got? So the early funding that we received was from United Way SIF. It was a 2-day work, but we realized SIF was not enough. We had so much work to do, so we applied with the city to add additional hours to work on the Hello Neighbor. So part of that hours was for me to be full-time worker for 1 year. And we spent that money building the Hello Neighbor, building with all of the community organizations that were listed. So today, if you don't have this app, you are going to make me sad. And also, you're gonna miss out of so many amazing things that is happening in Regent Park. So Adonis just talked about Regent Park TV. So if inside the app, you will find a place where all the videos of Adonis and all of the videos that the weekly comes. So you can watch from there. Also, we have a service navigation. So many organizations exist. So all of these organizations are offering amazing services. And you want your family or yourself to take advantage of it, but you don't know. So the service navigation allows you to search based on the service you need, and it gives you a list, the nearest services that you require, who do you want to go to. And that gives you a way to get all the services you need for your family. We also have a location in there for the neighborhood association. The neighborhood association is doing amazing work, and it requires all of you residents to be involved. So all the meetings, all of the things that is going on, there's a home there for it. Jobs that are relevant to Regent Park. So there's many jobs, but if they are relevant to this neighborhood, it will go in there. So you can find out and you can work near your home.
The next agenda item was introduced by Ismail Afra with an updated presentation from the Employment and Economic Lead Project.
The goal of employment and economic development is to help increase employment and entrepreneurial opportunities in Regent Park. So we've hired a community lead coordinator and an administrative coordinator to help support the overall coordination, relationship building, and connecting residents to opportunities that are available in the neighborhood. So how were the funds used? So the project funds were used to help hire these two coordinators, and the overall goal of the project was build relationships with employment and economic development stakeholders, connect residents with opportunities that are available in the neighborhood and outside the neighborhood, and also increase the communication between stakeholders and our existing gaps and opportunities. So in the project, these are some of our tangible results that came out through the project. So one of the coordinators, they've done over 150 engagement sessions with stakeholders, and over 120 new contacts were created. These 120 new residents were connected to job opportunities, employment supports, and also to the table itself. Because of this work, the EED table has over 175 stakeholders in our email list, and we've also made some relationship building with about 16 youths as well. The employment coordinator also built relationships with key organizations that are in the neighborhood, about 16 of them, and 40 residents have been referred to employment opportunities, resume help, one-on-one supports as well.
The next agenda item was an announcement from the Community Civic Engagement Collaborative presented by Joel Klassen.
We are holding an all-candidates meeting on Wednesday, October 12th. Hybrid, it can be either in person right here in this space here. You can be here physically, or you can join online, just like this meeting. So I just wanted to draw people's attention to it. This councillor seat in this ward is wide open. Councillor Kristen Wong-Tam moved on, and so there's no incumbent. So it'll be a competitive election. And we have 6 candidates who have confirmed their attendance. So come on out on Wednesday, October 12th. We'll sort of meet and greet and sort of gather at 5:30, and the meeting itself starts at 6.
Waleed Kogali gave an update presentation about the importance of social cohesion and inclusion of the social development plan in Regent Park and the opportunities that comes with the SDP. The September 20th, 2022 Stakeholders Table meeting ended with a Zoom presentation about the Football Athletic Advancement Program presented by Kevin Zavalos.
Blair's Run 2022 supports the newly reopened Cabbagetown Youth Centre. The annual mini-marathon, Blair's Run, has been part of the Cabbagetown Festival for 42 years. Over the years, it has raised funds for Wellesley Hospital Burn Unit, Riverdale Farm, and many other neighborhood charities, most especially the Cabbagetown Youth Centre. The annual mini-marathon became Blair's Run in 1999 in honor of Blair Tooley, a company champion who organized the run for several years to benefit the Cabbagetown Youth Centre. Blair's wife, Marilyn Marshall, has organized Blair's Run for the past 23 years, along with a team of enthusiastic volunteers. People can make donations or sponsors a team or one or more participants. These years, donations support the newly reopened Cabbagetown Youth Centre, CYC, under the umbrella of BGC, Toronto Kiwanis. So far, the run has collected nearly $40,000. Let's hear what Marilyn and Brenda have to say.
Okay, I'm Marilyn Marshall. I'm Brenda Brown-McNee, and we co-chair Blair's Run, which is a fundraiser for the Cabbagetown Youth Centre, which is reopened today. So it's very exciting this year. We've been doing this, Marilyn has been doing this for 23 years, and the run has been going itself for 43 years, and it's based on street teams that compete against each other, or little groups of friends that make teams, and then they get people to support them through donations. And last year, through all these little teams, we raised $50,000 for the Cabbagetown Youth Centre. And so it's a real big fundraiser to keep the place going and improve the programming and stuff. And it's really easy to get involved. Just sign up at blairsrun.ca. You can do, because it's virtual this year, it goes for 2 weeks. So you can do any kind of an event. You don't have to run. You can have a walk in the cemetery. You can do a Pilates class. You can ride your bikes down Bayview and just get some people to support you and raise some money to keep this great organization going. This event today, the opening of the Cabbagetown Youth Centre, it's what we've all been working toward, is to make sure that we have spaces for our youth to participate in the community. This facility had been in danger of closing, and a lot of people came together to make sure that it stayed open, and we are, Blair's Run is contributing to that success and the ongoing success by raising money and awareness in the community of the Cabbagetown Youth Centre. Well, we'd love to have teams come from Regent Park, get people together to form a team to help support the run and participate. Organizing some little event with their group of friends and have a team from your area. We don't seem to reach very far south of Gerrard, so it would be awesome to let people know that this is happening, and we'd love to have them participate and help keep these community places going.
That's great, yeah.
And the programming provided by Toronto Kiwanis and by the Cabbagetown Youth Centre under Toronto Kiwanis do serve the Regent Park community and all this area. So it would be really nice to have that feeling of connection in Regent Park. We would really love that.
The Daniels Corporation celebrates the official groundbreaking of Daniels on Parliament in the Regent Park Revitalization. The Daniels Corporation officially began construction on its latest condominium residence in Regent Park, Daniels on Parliament. Located where Regent Park meets Cabbagetown, Daniels on Parliament is the final condominium within the third phase of the Regent Park Revitalization. The condominium will feature 2 towers at 25 and 10 stories, rising from a shared podium. During the groundbreaking event, Daniels provided details on its partnership for affordable home ownership, a down payment assistance program created for current and past residents of Toronto Community Housing Corporation in Regent Park. Daniels also highlighted its pacemaking initiatives designed to feature local artists and help drive social equity and inclusion while enhancing the public realm experience. Daniels announced that it is the first developer in Ontario to offer Ori Living's robotic furniture units, which will be available in select studio suites at Daniels on Parliament. The Partnership for Affordable Home Ownership is Daniels' latest affordable home ownership program, specifically tailored to current and past residents of TCC who have lived in Regent Park for at least 2 years since the beginning of the revitalization in 2006. With an investment of up to $5 million, the program is completely funded by Daniels and provides down payment assistance for up to 50% of the purchase price of a new home at Daniels on Parliament, in the form of second mortgage loan for up to 20 years that is interest and monthly payment fee. Over the past 15 years in Regent Park, Daniels has successfully created and implemented various affordable home ownership programs that help first-time buyers realize the dream of home ownership, and Daniels on Parliament is an exciting new chapter, said Hila Omarkale, Vice President of Social Impact, the Daniels Corporation.
Toronto police seek 4th man in a shooting death of Regent Park youth worker Thane Murray. Toronto police have issued a Canada-wide arrest warrant for a 4th suspect, Regine Angus Campbell, 22, of Toronto, in connection with the shooting death of Thane Murray, a well-known youth worker in Regent Park. Campbell was described as approximately 6'1" and 174 pounds. He is considered armed and dangerous. Thane Murray, 27 of Toronto, was shot several times on September 18, 2021 in the area of Oak and Summit Street. He died at the scene. 2 other men suffered gunshot wounds as well. Thane was an advocate for Regent Park's youth and was an employee of the Regent Park Community Centre. Police said 4 men were wearing masks and dark-colored clothing, opened fire on Murray and 2 other men. Then a gunman fled on foot. Police were called to the area shortly before 9 p.m. One of the 2 other victims of the shooting, who was 29, suffering critical injuries. The second man, 27, was seriously injured. In December of last year, police arrested 2 men, Junior Jamal Harvey, 20, and Noah Anderson, 20, both of Toronto. The 2 men have been already charged with first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. They appeared in a Toronto courtroom on December 14th. A third man, Jabril Emil, 27 of Toronto, also currently has a warrant out for his arrest. They are asking anyone with information to contact police at 416-808-7400.
Hundreds marched to protest growing gun violence in Toronto on September 24, 2022. More than 200 people marched in downtown Toronto on Saturday in a renewed push for government action on gun violence in the wake of 302 shootings in the city so far this year. The founder of Zero Gun Violence Movement, Louis March, says more action is needed to reduce gun violence, which he says has continued unabated in the city for months.
We've got a problem in our city with gun violence before and after. What we're doing is not working. So we put out this appeal to the many organizations we work with and ask them to come out today. And you guys showed up because you understand the hurt and the pain, the agony, the grief, the trauma that we go through. So thank you very much for being here.
The people united can only stop the violence. Louder, everybody, louder! People united can only stop the violence.
People united can only stop the violence.
The people united can only stop the violence. Stop the violence!
As of September 19, Toronto police have recorded 31 homicides by shootings out of total of 302 shootings so far this year. Numbers from Statistics Canada shows the number of homicides committed by shootings has increased every year since 2018.
Police arrest a young man suffering a mental health crisis in Regent Park. On Friday, August 12, 2022, Walid Kogali, member of the Regent Park Neighborhood Association, was notified that a Regent Park resident was in crisis. A young man diagnosed with a medical illness in need of medical care after a doctor sent a form to Toronto Police to request response of the mobile crisis response team trained to support those in mental health crisis. Instead, Toronto police officers show up, arrested, and charged the young man. Also spent the weekend in jail and appear in court on Monday, August 15th. RPTV interviewed Walid Kogali to know more about this shocking incident and a call to action.
Hello neighbors, I just wanted to share with you a very important call to action to not be a bystander, especially when your neighbor is experiencing a mental health crisis. So many of you might have seen this video circulating online, but I just wanted to let you know on August 12th, so Friday, August 12th, one of our neighbors was in crisis, and I received a call from my neighbors to support our neighbor. I later on realized that our neighbor who's been diagnosed with a mental health illness was supposed to be transported to the hospital, but instead 2 untrained police officers arrested him, and he spent the entire weekend in jail. And I want to explain that for someone who's going through mental health crisis, being in jail without medical supervision or treatment is very dangerous for the individual. In fact, we've had cases where individuals with mental health have been killed in prison, and specifically there's been allegations made against prison guards for not being able to support someone in a mental health crisis in the jail. So I think it's important for us to have that context, that it's an unsafe space for our neighbors. And in this specific case, this wonderful young man, all he required was medical support. Just wanted to provide some more context. I did go with the family to visit 51 Division to request his release and his transfer to a hospital. What was really concerning was they chose to continue to incarcerate this individual due to those criminal charges that were put forward. And then later on in the week, on Monday, August 15th, there was a court hearing for his bail, and I spoke in support of the young man, and by challenging the judge to look at the conditions by which this individual was charged in the first place, how he was supposed to be in a hospital and not in a jail. And fortunately, 2 days ago, those charges were withdrawn specifically by the Crown in the public's best interest. It's important for us to hold public officials accountable, especially our public servants that are meant to ensure that we have safety within our neighborhoods, and that means that we need to ensure that the guidelines set when it pertains to access for those that are going through mental health, that it's done by professionals, well-trained professionals. I want to challenge all of you not to be bystanders. If you see someone in crisis, a mental health crisis, document it. Take out your phone. It's one of the most important tools that you have when it pertains to transparency and accountability. Document the incident. Make sure you follow up with the family to see if they need support. And also, if you have privilege, help advocate for your neighbors and to ensure that we all live with integrity in our community. Yeah, I also want to encourage folks in our community to explore the mental health supports that will be made available starting next year in March. So you can call 988 starting March 2023, so next year, and you will get mental health supports directly without police intervention. So it's going to be launched next year, and I'm looking forward to the outcome of that program so that we could work together to ensure that everyone in our community feels safe.
And now for COVID-19 and vaccination update. Bivalent COVID-19 booster shot appointments for those 18 plus are now open. Anyone aged 18 and over is now eligible to receive the bivalent COVID-19 booster shot in Ontario. Appointments can be booked through the province's COVID-19 vaccine portal or directly through individual public health units. The booster shot provides better protection against all Omicron variants. Officials say with the start of the fall and winter respiratory illness season, vulnerable individuals such as those aged 70 and over are strongly recommended to receive their bivalent booster as soon as they can. Long-term care residents and healthcare workers were the first to receive Moderna's new Spikevax bivalent vaccine earlier this month. And Fred has more information about vaccination and wellness clinics in the neighborhood.
The Regent Park Vaccination Clinic is open on Saturdays from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at 40 Oak. There's also a wellness and vaccine clinic on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Tuesdays from 1:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Visit the corner 200 Wesley Street East to get your vaccines, cancer screening, mental health support, and connect to an on-site intake worker and more.
And now Fred with events and jobs in the community.
And now for events coming to Regent Park. The Community Civic Engagement Collaborative presents All Candidates Meeting, Municipal Councillor Elections, Toronto Centre, GOR 13. On Wednesday, October 12th, 2022, from 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., and from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. the meeting starts. This is a hybrid event, virtual and in-person. The in-person event will take place at CSI Community Living Room, Daniel Spectrum, 85 Dundas Street East. Get involved. Fred Victor brings you Street Eats, outdoor food and drink festival featuring 20+ food and drink vendors. This will take place on October 5th, 2022 from 6 to 9 p.m. at 40 Oak Street in Regent Park. Mothers of Peace and Regent Park Sewing Studio brings you the silent auction. Handmade dresses from the Regent Park Fashion Show will be auctioned off every week at the Cultural Bazaar. All proceeds will go to Mothers of Peace every Friday until October 14th from 9 to 9 p.m. at 660 Dundas Street East. Focus Media Arts Center is looking for civic and community video journalists. Do you have training or experience in media production and or broadcast journalism? Do you have a passion for writing, video editing, or reporting local news and stories for radio, television, or newspapers? Join the Focus Media Arts Center and report the happenings of the Regent Park and surrounding communities. Regent Park residents are encouraged to apply. The deadline is October 20th, 2022, 30 hours a week, $22.50 hourly. To apply, please send a cover letter along with your resume to info@focusmediaarts.ca.
And that's all for today's show. My name is Victoria, my co-hosts are Jabin, Ryan, and Fred. We also like to thank our team of researchers that contributed for this week's show and from our studios at Focus Media Arts Center. Thanks for watching and see you next week.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out all of our social media platforms. For more information, check out our website.